last Sunday, I was in Detroit at the New Harmony Baptist Church in Detroit, Michigan. New Harmony Baptist Church is the church that I was baptized in when I was 7, 8 years old. I was there. And here's the beautiful story, is that my family is still a member of that church, right? So I remember when I have a remembrance of it, there was Reverend Wright, and then we went to Reverend Scott, and then we went to Reverend McCoy, and now we're at, there's a third Reverend now, oh my goodness, I forget this name, Reverend Atkins now. But that's the way it is in the Baptist church, you know, it's like family and family and family and family and on and on and on. But anyway, so the reason why I play that song is because it reminds me of my grandmother. That was her favorite song, What a Friend We Have in Jesus. And I just love the song. And so I just play it in memory of my family. I'm feeling a little bit sentimental. You know, my mother's been not so well lately. And she's in that stage now that they get to sometimes where I walked in one day and she says, "Aren't you a friend of Eddie's? You're a friend of my son's, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, Mom." Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow. Your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. All you got to do is say what? What you say? All you got to do is early in the morning, late in the evening, you can tweet me, and you can email me, oh, and you can Facebook me. And you know, all you got to do is call me. You're in the right place this morning. And I'll tell you why. Because no matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone. And someone cares for you as an individualization of divine point of view. This door, oh, this door right here is open for you. Oh, this door, I'm talking about this door. I said this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight. This door is open to you. This door is open to you. All right, 1 second, okay. All right, so let's keep that going, everybody. Let me introduce to you, I welcome our spiritual leader, the Reverend Dr. Ken Wilcox.
See, Eddie was up in Detroit. We had to trick him a little bit. That's what we had to do. Boy, it's glad to have you. Don't you love having Eddie Watkins Jr. back? Yeah. Yes. Because we're here to proclaim the good news of our journey, the good news of our soul, that it doesn't matter where you are, who you are. It doesn't matter if you're the blissed out or you're the prayed out. You are here to be loved, to know that you have the power and goodness of Spirit flowing through you, and that there is a goodness within your soul, and it is here for you to know. So this morning, I just want you to do one simple thing for me. And that is to leave all your troubles, your fears, your would-haves, could-haves, should-haves, to leave all that stuff outside. And for the next 45 minutes or so, unless me and Eddie get on a roll, to open up an avenue of Spirit possibilities in your life. And what are Spirit possibilities? Where there more love, more joy, more happiness, more fireworks, more 4th of July barbecues, all those things in life that make us feel alive, that make us feel good, that make us feel loving and joyful, because those things are Spirit showing up in our lives, recognizing itself through our love, joy, and laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. Well, today is a very special day for us. We have one of our winners of the Venus Manley Scholarship Program, a very amazing and lovely young woman. Tangela, would you like to come up and introduce her for us? Oh, Ted. Come on up, Ted.
I'm pleased to join my lovely wife up here this morning. Thank you so much.
Well, what am I, chopped liver? Go ahead.
No comment. But we are all pleased to welcome one of our three Venus Manley Scholarship winners for this year, which happens to be the 5th year that we've hosted this scholarship. But thank you, thank you. And for those of you among us who aren't familiar with the Venus Manley Scholarship, Venus Manley was one of our youth members here, Tangela and my daughter. She transitioned 8 years ago now. We have, the center has scheduled a scholarship for 3 deserving high school seniors with documented disabilities, with $1,000 scholarships each. This morning, one of those 3 is joining us. Her name is Mackenzie Arthur. Mackenzie, please come up. Join us. You can get right in the middle of it, thank you. Mackenzie is a student at the Ponte Vedra High School, and I just want to say a few things about Mackenzie, let you know a few things about Mackenzie, and I'm going to do that, and I hope this is not going to embarrass you too much, because I'm going to let you speak a moment too. I'm going to share with you a little bit of her essay. In order to qualify for this scholarship, the recipients, all of the applicants, write a 250 to 500-word essay. They subject themselves to a panel of us adults who are asking her a lot of questions about what she put in the essay and applications, and they must have letters of recommendation. Mackenzie flew through in all, with flying colors and all, but I'm going to share with you a little bit of her application with you this morning. And the application, the questionnaire, or the wording, is answering the question, how have you overcome your specific challenges, and what do you see yourself accomplishing through your education? Mackenzie has said, a daily priority is studying. I was diagnosed with dyslexia in elementary school and endured a long and challenging journey adapting to my disability. I spent countless hours learning to read. The simple act of understanding written passages was exhausting and discouraging. In addition, comparing myself to my classmates only deepened my suffering. What took others 30 minutes to learn takes me hours. I dedicated extra time teaching myself ways to absorb and remember the scientific method or find the square root of a number. Flashcards and mnemonic devices also helped tremendously. During this process, I came to a decision. I would not let dyslexia define me and would stop viewing myself as someone who struggled. Instead, I would learn from my disability and see it as a blessing it truly is. There's a glorious silver lining to my realization. I saw how my dedication and hard work benefited me as I developed the strongest and most disciplined study habits of anyone I knew. This experience helped me to see opportunities in every challenge and taught me that the most important things are worth my limitless time and effort. Looking back, I believe having dyslexia has shaped me into the hardworking and dedicated person that I am today. Mackenzie will be attending Samford University in the fall, a private Christian school in Homewood, Alabama. Mackenzie Arthur.
First off, I would just like to thank the Manley family and the committee for this opportunity. Like was said in my essay, I was diagnosed with dyslexia in 5th grade, and while it's had its struggles, it has definitely shaped me into the hardworking and dedicated individual I am today, and I'm just beyond grateful for this scholarship. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
So Mackenzie already received her certificate, so we're not going to do a certificate presentation today. We just want to say congratulations. You're an amazing young woman, and we just see the best of the universe bringing forth to you. So thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Mackenzie.
We do photos, right? We do photos.
Did we? Oh. Mackenzie's resume just reads just a little bit short of War and Peace. It's amazing all the wonderful things this young woman has already done so early in her life. And Mackenzie always tells the congregation we have winners come here that I want them to treat you like a aunt used to treat me when I was in college. Long time ago, right after Sherman came through Georgia. At family gatherings and such, she would slide me a couple of a little money. And Mackenzie did not bring, her dress doesn't have pockets on it, but she's got a bag with her. So I want y'all to slide her a little bit of money because we want her to go up to Alabama feeling good and looking fashionable. And so y'all be generous to Mackenzie. And like I always tell you about my quote from Reverend Ike, when you don't give her some money, I don't want to hear any jingling and jangling. No, that we're not here at close to Christmas time. I want some silent dollars going her way. You support her. You let her know that there's a group of people that she really doesn't know at all, but are supporting her, loving her, praying for her, and we're envisioning the best for her. She's going to go out and she's going to make the world a better place. And our part, we've had a little bit of part in that, but she's going to show the world what this young woman can do. So thank you for Mackenzie for showing up today. All right. I know you got some great music for us.
If you're able to stand up and clap your hands, sort of like this. Now that feels real good. Now if you know the words, sing along. And if you don't, it's super easy. And it goes like this. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love. Woo! It seems like we got a little bit more people in here, huh? Take a look at the person next to you. You sound so good. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite. In honor of the God in each other. Ooh, take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together. We come together in the name of love. Oh, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love. In the name of love, we come together. Woo!
Thank you, Eddie Watkins Jr. Have a seat, everybody. Well, now to get the service really going, we got our lovely Brenda Cisensis, who never thinks I can pronounce her last name, coming up to do a reading and treatment for us. Come on up, Brenda. You better be good following that now.
Is this on?
Yes.
Well, thank you, Reverend Kim. Yeah. And Mackenzie, my prayer this morning is regarding self-care. And when Ted was reading your essay and talking about when you made the decision to have dyslexia not be a disadvantage, but a blessing. If that isn't an example of self-care, I don't know what is. Congratulations to you. Okay, self-care. Here's my reading. I honor God when I take care of myself. There are so many ways I can use my life to honor God. I can serve, give generously of my time and treasure, and reach out in compassion to those who are hurting. In fact, sometimes I focus so intently on what I have to give and the ways I can serve that I don't make time for myself as a priority. All the ways I can care for myself with rest and nutrition, quiet moments with my family and friends, and fun things that I'm doing are not only good for my physical and emotional health, they nurture my spiritual health too. The more I care for myself, the more beautifully and completely I realize my divine nature, and the more fully I can be in the hands and heart of God in this world. Renewed and refreshed, I shine the light of God wherever I go. So let's take a breath. Let me calm down. And know this with me. Let's know this together. There is one divine presence in the universe. We name it God, we name it Spirit. There are many names for it. It doesn't matter what we call it. It's there, and it's in, through, with, and in all of us, each one of us. We are guided by it. And so, knowing that, we're all one in this room. We can feel each other's energy. That is the presence of God. And as I turn my heart to God and open up and feel it in my body, that vibration, that spirit within me. And as I recognize the care that I give myself, physically, mentally, and emotionally, I know that that care is guided to me by Spirit, by God. And I acknowledge and enjoy the fact that I act on that, just as Mackenzie did. She was guided to see her world differently, and she acted on it. What a wonderful example that is. And so that acknowledging and enjoying is really self-appreciation. It's honoring God for acting on the guidance we get from it. And so knowing this, I am so grateful for this center for bringing me to these realizations through the teachings that we get here. I'm grateful to Reverend Ken that he can deliver these messages to us in such an effective way. I'm grateful to Eddie Watkins Jr. for the messages he brings through his music. And because I release this into the mind of God, I know it comes back reflected to me in even greater measure. And together we say, and so it is.
Oh, thank you, Brenda. That was beautiful.
Satisfy my soul. Let the new day begin. Let the evening roll. Let the big sky in. Satisfy my heart. It's just so good to feel the love that's all around, and all the hurt will heal. Oh, this is what my heart needs to feel. Satisfy my soul, take away the pain. Something's got to end to begin again. Satisfy my heart, 'cause it's so good to feel the love that's all around, and all the hurt will heal. Oh, feeling, every feeling is wishing every wish you have come true. Oh, healing, every healing that's about to come to you. Satisfy my soul. Let the new day begin. Let the evening roll. Let the big sky in. Satisfy my heart. It's so, so good to feel the love that's all around, and all the hurt will heal. Oh, this is what my heart needs to feel every day. Oh, this is what our hearts need to feel. I know. Oh, this is what our hearts need to feel every day. This is what our hearts need to feel. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. Wow. It's really amazing. Thank you, Eddie. We're very blessed to have you here. So my talk today is called The Prospering Heart of Love. The Prospering Heart of Love. I'm continuing on my talks on prosperity. I know some of you may say, well, it's the 4th of July. Shouldn't you be talking about freedom? And the reality is that freedom from the worry of and fear of having lack, of not having enough money, that's the best freedom you can have. When you have that freedom, you can really enjoy life. And you really can't enjoy life until you have that freedom, until you know that you are supplied, and that you know that that you have a power within you that can overcome any condition the world is going to throw at you. That the world might have a recession, but you've got a spirit within you that's going to get you through any lack and limitation, and that you can tell the world what you know your value is, and you don't have to listen to what the world tells you. So it's kind of a strange talk I'm going to give this morning. I've kind of thrown everything in but the kitchen sink, and it's because Spirit, or God, has really kind of given me lots of different energies this week. You know, as I go through my life, and as I use our teaching, our affirmative prayer and meditation, and all the things that we do, what I've come to understand is that it's almost like we're in a dance with Spirit. And Spirit is guiding us. Spirit is giving us energies, and it's ours to recognize the pattern and to recognize the signals of where we want to go. It's almost like one of those really great ballroom dances, you know, and the people just they do it so long, they just have an intuition of where the partner's hand is going to be or foot is going to be. So this week, I've really gotten a signal from Spirit about helping mothers in need. That was one thing that I was getting. And also, and this is kind of odd, I got a signal about nephews and uncles. Nephews and uncles, and I'll explain that later. So as I said, my basis of my talk this morning is a book by Catherine Ponder, The Prospering Power of Love. Catherine Ponder was a unity minister. She wrote lots of books. She started a unity church in Birmingham, Alabama in the late 50s. God love her. God love her. She had the sense to get out of Alabama, and she ended up in Palm Desert, and she had a huge church out there. And she may still be out there doing great work, and that would be wonderful. She said, if you're not attracting the good you deserve in your life, she said, if you're not attracting the good, become a radiating center of love. Radiate love. And she says, if you will radiate love, you will energize this inner magnet within you, and it's going to attract to you a life worth living. You're going to have a life that you deserve, this every blessing. So we want to energize this magnet of good within us. And love is the key. Love's the answer. To have a joyful life, you've got to have love. And if you don't have love, it doesn't matter how wealthy you get, you're not going to be happy. And there are many examples of that through history. A really interesting one is of a woman, her name was Barbara Hutton. You may remember her. She was called Poor Little Rich Girl. She probably was one of the richest people that ever lived. She really was. Right after the Depression, she inherited the Woolworth fortune. If you don't remember Woolworth, it was a great place. They were basically the Walmart and Home Depot of their time. They were all over the nation. They were called a five and dime. I always loved them. There was one old one in Atlanta that lasted for a long time. You could go in and get an ice cream sundae and a parakeet. You could. So she was just born with this just so much money, and it made her miserable. She never was happy. She went through one husband. She married these European princes, and they were all after her money. She went through them like I go through a frozen pizza, not very pretty. And nobody made her happy. Interesting enough, the one man she married who didn't try to take her money was Cary Grant. She married Cary Grant, the famous movie actor. She bought jewelry like candy, and she owned some of the, there she is, that tiara that she's wearing, that I wouldn't call it a tiara, I would call that a crown. That came from the Russian Romanovs, and it didn't do them any good. You would have thought she wouldn't have bought it. Those aren't diamonds. On the top of those are rubies. And in case you don't know, rubies are more valuable than diamonds. That ring that she's wearing, if you can make it out, that's a 40-carat diamond. It's called the Pasha diamond from India. 40 carats. Yeah. And none of it made her happy. She was totally miserable. She was lonely. She got on drugs. By the end of her life, she had gone through the fortune. It's amazing that she was able to spend that much money. And she died friendless, no family, only servants taking care of her. And when they did the autopsy on her, they said that she had been mistreated. She didn't get the care she needed in her final days. So don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with money. Money's good, but you want to use it. You want to use it to bring happiness to those around you. You want to use it to support those around you. And in doing so, you're going to make yourself happy. That's how you're going to bring joy into your life. It's like there's a law of circulation. It's the same with our bodies. We have to circulate. And if you don't circulate, then the energies become toxic and they'll kill us. So we want to invest in circulation. Love is probably the most important power we have, and it's what's necessary. And if we are loving, the world's going to take care of us. I one time wrote the best insurance policy, and the best insurance policy is just be a loving person. If you're a loving person, the world will take care of you. Now, a wonderful example of that was my mom's best friend. My mom had a friend, her name was Annie Laurel King, and she was a great inspiration to me. She had raised a large family, I think like 6 boys. When her 60s, her husband, who was much older than her, he died. She moved back to her little hometown, which was a cotton mill village in Macon. It was its own little city called Payne City. She moved back to a little cotton mill cabin. Her family fixed it up for her. She became the mayor of that town. And the year that she became the mayor, she was the oldest elected mayor in the States. She was the oldest one. So Matt Lauer, you remember him? He interviewed her live. He got her age wrong. He made her older than she actually was. Well, she corrected him on national television. From that point on, Matt Lauer would send her a birthday card each birthday. Now, as her health began to decline, I had moved back to Atlanta. I would go visit her. And her neighbors and family, they treated her like royalty. They cared for her every want. They had her little house just fixed up like a dollhouse. And if you parked in the yard and they saw a strange car in the yard, they would soon be over to check out to make sure that Annie Laura was all right. I would visit her, and she'd always want to give me food to take back home. She was always worried that somehow I didn't get enough food. I don't know where that came from. She was a loving person, I told you. So she would tell me, she said, Ken, go in the freezer. The neighbors have got me stocked up with casseroles. Take 2 or 3 of them. Not just one, take 2 or 3. She also tried to pawn off the hover round her kids had bought her, and she was insistent she wasn't going to use it. Now, I've thought about her for a long time. What made her so special? What did she do that inspired people and encouraged people? And I think what I've hit upon is exactly what Catherine Ponder says we need to do. Catherine Ponder said, you need to prophesize the best for people. You need to see the best that can happen for them. And that's what Mrs. King would do. I remember when I was working in D.C., I would talk to her about my career and the troubles I was having. And she would tell me, she would say, now, Ken, she said, this is the way it's going to work out. You're going to, this opportunity is going to show up. That's going to happen for you. And, of course, I wanted to argue with her. And she said, no, don't worry about it. She says, if that doesn't happen, something even better will come through. Don't you worry. Now, Mrs. King didn't know New Thought from Adam's apple, but she was living and she was practicing New Thought. Catherine Ponder says, say the best, prophesize the best for yourself, and then do it for everyone around you. See the best in everyone around you and put it out to spirit. Put it out to spirit. The other day, I was headed home and I needed to go by the grocery store. I just needed a couple of items, so I went to the grocery store that has the self-checkout, and I can breeze through one of those like a professional. And I got in line, and in front of me was a young woman with 2 kids, a baby and about a 6-year-old. She had a basket full. The 6-year-old was trying to help her scan stuff, naturally, and I could tell something was up, because she would scan something and then she would look around and then she would scan another item. And I was really frustrated with her. I was like, why haven't you gone through just the regular checkout? And then it dawned onto me what she was doing. She had a limited budget and she was scanning the things that were essential, and so she could hold back the things that weren't essential. And it really struck me as, that I should be compassionate to her. That, this is a person going through some challenging times. It's tough enough to raise little ones, but then to have it on a budget where you don't even know that you can get them the things that, they want, because those were the things that were left behind in the basket, the things the kids wanted, and that she couldn't even do that. It burdened me. And so in my mind, not out loud, because you don't want people to think you're a weirdo, I prophesized for her. And I said, I see her getting the things she needs. I see her getting home and being able to cook the meal. I see her putting the kids to sleep. And I see her having some time to herself, just to be able to relax. If you're a parent with little ones, having 30 minutes to yourself is a huge blessing. So I put that into consciousness. I put that into the Spirit of God, knowing that something like that would happen for her. Maybe not those exact things, but as Mrs. King told me long ago, that or something better. That or something better. And the other thing that was smart that Spirit gave me was that it doesn't have to be the big thing. I didn't say that she would win the lottery or that she would get the fantastic job. It's the little ordinary miracles of life. In the Lord's Prayer, our daily bread. Our daily bread. What? Because we want this journey of life. We want to have this companion of Spirit in our life. We want to know that God is walking with us, urging us on, knowing us for ourselves, and with us on this journey. You know, life is not that easy. There's lots of turmoil and there's lots of stress right now. And the way we get through it is knowing that we have purpose, we have value, God is with us, it is showing us a better way. So that's the prophesize that I have, not just for her, but for all of us, that we can work through this. And we can make life easier for ourselves. Yesterday, I had to go get a new set of tires for my car. And yes, I chose the Saturday before 4th of July to go do that. Anybody with any sense would know that's not the time you go to a tire store. But I had made my appointment, and I showed up, and the guy that was in front of me, well, he was Grumpy Gus. He was complaining and arguing about everything. They couldn't do anything to make him happy. I got up. They pulled my order. They said, you're right on time. We're going to get you out of here in an hour. Sit over there. If you want a cup of coffee, go get the cup of coffee. Within an hour, they had the car ready. When I got outside, the young man couldn't have been nicer to me. Before I got in the car, he said, wait a minute. He said, let me return your car to your original setting, the seat to your original setting. I can't even get the people I live with to do that. I'm not looking at anybody. No names. And here he did. That's a blessing. It's a blessing. We want to honor that, and we want to promote that. So this is what I think we need to prophesize for good. See the good, encourage the good. Do it for yourself, do it for those around you, and do it for the world. Now, getting back to the young woman in the grocery store, she later on helped me inspire about something that I hope we're going to be able to get to as this community. You know, of course, we're going through challenging times. 2 years of COVID. This auditorium used to be packed with people. We've had some challenges. But I know if we step up and we bring our light to the world, God's going to support us. We don't have to have any fear in that. We have to have a knowing that if we put ourselves out there, if we bring our truth to the world, we're going to be supported. We've got amazing music. We've got great classes. We've got great practitioners. Our talks. Thank you, Eddie. And so we're out there. Here, this Sunday, we just finished up with the Venus Manley Scholarship Program with this amazing young woman, Mackenzie. And so what else can we do? What else can we do? You know, we have the Elizabeth Clare program. That's in honor of our former minister here. And that's where we help women who are leaving the shelters, fleeing violence, the Betty Griffin centers. And so we've been helping them. And so we want to know in these tough times, what more can we do? What else can we do? Now, some of you may know, but you might not know. But last week, my nephew surprised me and showed up here. My nephew lives in Texas and very successful, and he's become a very strong supporter of ours. And so he came here because my sister, his mom, made her transition a month or two ago. And he came to tell me that he's going to make a donation to us, and he wants to do it to honor his mom. So he and I thought about it for a while. And, what can we do to honor her? Well, all the women in our family had struggles. And so we thought what we would do is we would use some of that money to help the women from the getting out of the Betty Griffith Center. Because what happens at Betty Griffith, they bring you in for 3 months. But once you leave Betty Griffith, there's no more help for you. You're on your own. And it's, what can we do? And so we came up with the idea that we would get gift cards from one of the grocery store chains, and perhaps, $100 or $75 that when they left Betty Griffith, that they would have some money to help them out so they can help feed their family. Now, it's not going to save them all, because unfortunately the statistics are that most of them will go back to their abusers. And the reason why is because they can't make it economically. But it may save one. It may save one. And after all, we're doing what we can. And that's all that Spirit asks us. Spirit asks of us to do what we can. And then you release it, and you let Spirit take over. I've done my part. Now, Spirit, you've got to step up, and you've got to take over your part. As I said, it seemed to me this week, I was in kind of that God was sending me signals and patterns of what I needed to step up to in life. And there was energy about helping moms. The other thing was about uncles and nephews. Strangely enough, it was a surprise that my nephew showed up. It's actually kind of a surprise that he's supporting us or me, because I really wasn't very much of a uncle to him. He's only a couple of years younger than I am, but for some reason he got the support, and I'm very grateful for that. It touched my soul, and I told him, I made a commitment to him, I'm going to be there for you. And so Sunday night I got home and I couldn't sleep. I was asleep. I was awake when we turned the television off. I was awake when the alarm clock went off at 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get any sleep at all. I was listening to, because if I get up, then both dogs get up and the whole household gets up. So I just laid in bed and I was listening to YouTube videos on my earbuds. And unfortunately, when I do that, I can't remember exactly the names and the particulars of the videos that I listen to. And that's unfortunate, because this video about this young man I'm going to tell you is an amazing story. He was an elite trainer in the Israeli military. He had trained their commando divisions. Now, to be in the Israeli military, you've got to be one tough cookie. To train them, you got to be the toughest cookie. And he was one tough cookie. And they said that the people he trained just loved him. He was able to inspire and encourage, and he just got they admired him greatly. They were on a training exercise. He was supposed to run up charge up a huge sand dune. It was right underneath a recently built high wire electrical wires. When he got to the top of the sand dune, the electrical wires arced, and they sent a bolt of electricity down through him. And when that happens, your body catches a fire from the inside out. His troops went and grabbed him. They brought him down. They put the flame out. They called the rescue. They got him to the hospital immediately. They sedated him, so he was in a coma for a whole week. When he came out of the coma, the doctors came to him and says, look, this is a tough situation, but you're a tough guy. They said, if you really dedicate yourself to getting the exercise and physical therapy you need, we think you'll walk again. We think you'll walk again. And he told him, he says, you don't have to worry about me. He said, I've trained some of the toughest people to get through some of the toughest situations that the world has to offer them. He says, I know exactly how to conquer this. He says, I'm going to hold a vision in my mind. I'm going to hold a vision. He says, I'm not going to allow myself to have any excuses. And he says, whatever exercise you throw at me, I'll do double. And that's what he did. This whole time he was being supported by his family and friends. The night before he was going to be transferred from the hospital to the rehab facility, a group of doctors came in. One of the doctors looked at him and he said, you know, most people in your condition have 60% infection on their body, but you only have 5%. He went to sleep that night. The next morning he woke up. He had 40% infection on his body. He had took that affirmation, that negative affirmation, and his subconscious had responded to it. When he woke up and they said, no, you can't go, you can't leave, you can't be discharged, he said it just took all the wind out of his sails. He didn't know how to go on. He said he stopped the exercising. He wouldn't let his friends or family come in to visit him. His trainees, the people who he trained under, they came in and he wouldn't see them. He wouldn't let them in the room. And they told him, this is okay. You don't have to see us. We're going to sit outside, and we're going to hold you in conscious. We're going to do prayers. You may not see us, but we're going to see and support you. He had a dear uncle. The uncle was the patriarch of the family. And the uncle has a heart condition. And so the family wouldn't tell the uncle about the nephew. And by accident, the uncle heard about the nephew. And they said when the uncle heard about the nephew, he dropped what he was doing and he headed out to go see his nephew. The family called the nephew and they said, Uncle Sasha's on his way. You know, he's got a bad heart. You've got to not let him get discouraged. You can't upset him about your condition. And he got off the phone and he said he could see Sasha walking down the hall. He passed his door. He got lost in the hospital. And he knew he would be back in his room within just a couple of seconds. So before he could get back in the room, he grabbed hold of the pulls over his bed that was there for him to exercise, and he began to do pull-ups. The uncle came into the room. He said, Uncle Sasha, I'm so glad you're here. He said, but you can see I'm exercising. This is what I'm doing. I'm exercising to get out of here. And the uncle told him, he said, well, I don't want to interrupt, but I had heard you were not in a good place, and I wanted to come and tell you that, I'm here with you. I'm praying for you. I believe in you. And he told the uncle, he says, you don't need to worry about me. He said, you go home. I'm going to get well, and I'm going to come and see you. The next time we'll see each other, I'm going to come and see you. And he did just that. He healed himself. He got out of that hospital. He's gone on to have family and children. And he said what he learned from that experience was, it's not enough just to have the discipline. It's not enough to have the vision. You've got to have someone that you love, someone that believes in you. He said, if you have someone that you love, they can give you the energy to burst through every bit of limitation the world may have put on you, and better, more than that, the limitations you have put on yourself. Love will help us break through. Now, dear ones, you may not realize this or not, but we've gone through some challenges here. And, we don't know exactly how everything's going to work out. We've got a landlord raising the rent, and of course, the attendance isn't what it used to be. But this is what I know. This center has been here for 40 years. We've been raising a light of lamp and love, support, and encouragement for 40 years, and St. Augustine hasn't seen anything yet. We are on the move. We're on the march. We're not stepping back. The storm may be blowing strong, but we are holding to the truth of who we are and whose we are. We're the children of the Most High. We have come to raise a lamp of hope and love and inspiration, and we're going to do just that. We're going to make that lighthouse over on the shore shameful of the light it sends out by the love of our heart. It's the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd gladly walk through the desert with no shoes upon my feet to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I will swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are fading, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Sing along with me, y'all. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Once again, love can build a bridge. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Thank you, Eddie. Well, now comes the time where we support the center, and we support the center because we know what good work this place is doing. Now, you can support us in several different ways, obviously in coin, and we're very grateful for that. You can also support us in consciousness, praying and seeing this center, becoming that beacon of hope and love that I said it is. And you can also volunteer. However you choose to support us, know that we're very grateful for your support. And if you will, take your offering and place it over your heart and read within me this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And today we're actually passing the plate. We've decided we're going to start that again. So if the ushers will step forward, and Eddie, I know you've got some good music for us.
I'm not worried about tomorrow, or today I declare freedom from yesterday, mistakes of the past. Today all things are made brand new. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy, and happiness is yours and it's mine. I am blessed and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? Let me hear you say, all is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, oh, all is well, all is well.
all is well. All is well, and we're supported by Spirit. And your contribution, you don't know the great good that your contribution is doing. You don't know how this money is going to help perhaps a mother in need, how it's going to help somebody with depression and lack that doesn't know about the good news of this, our message. You don't know the great good that your support is going to bring about, but God does, and your support is going to be returning to you multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you, Terry.
We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, we're amazing, and we've just begun to feel the power and the freedom to be who we came here to be, as we discover each other and celebrate humanity. We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, times are changing. It's a love revolution as we are walking together. Love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for everyone. To a world that works for
So I'm going to close our service today with a final affirmative prayer. Take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. There is but one God and one mind and one power. And that power is perfect love. It's divine intelligence. That power is wisdom. And that power is available to me here and now in this sacred space. So here and now, I choose to lift my eyes up to a better knowing for myself. I choose to see myself as Spirit sees me, not as weak and wounded, but bold and dynamic. I choose to walk through those fields of compassion to a world that does work for everyone, a world of sisterhood and brotherhood where freedom reigns over all. This morning, I know that we're on a great journey, that we're here to see the world and experience life as God intended, free, bold, and dynamic, loving one another, compassionate and kind. This morning, I am not letting the shadows of the world hold me back. I am casting off the shackles of fear and doubt and woundedness and victimhood. I've played with those things long enough. I have lifted my eyes up to witness the glory of God dawning before me. And this morning I'm saying yes to it all. Yes to Spirit's love, its compassion, its kindness, its health and joy. It's what I've come to experience. And this morning I'm not turning back. It's my truth. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, And so it is. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you with one last thought. Your life, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God is calling us to be. This is Reverend Ken with Eddie Watkins Jr. wishing you many blessings.
Please stand and join us for the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with our family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Namaste. God bless you. We'll see you next week.